Welcome to Paralysis, Appraisers on Purpose podcast. Our podcast showcases inspiring appraisers and professionals from the industry who are leaders in their field. How did they get to where they are? What have they learned along the way? What can we learn from them? Your host is real estate investor, entrepreneur, and appraiser, Michael Hobbs.
Welcome to another exciting, informative, and engaging episode of Perusings, Appraisers on Purpose podcast. I'm your host, Michael Hobbs, and as always, it's such a privilege to connect with our peers in and around the industry. So many different walks of life, so many different experiences, so many different paths that have allowed them to get to where they're at. And today is absolutely no different. Definitely a fun, but also informative and inspiring set of accomplishments in a relatively short period of time. But before we do that, I know you'd be shocked. I know you love the data. Would you be surprised that most recently, 59% of you listen but don't get a chance to subscribe? So when you do the little thing that you can do and only you can do by just hitting that subscribe button, and be generous and hit the like button as well, smash that like button, you help get this out to more and more people in the industry, and they get more and more value from hearing the stories of our peers. And with that, I'm so excited to have Taylor with us today. Thanks, brother. Thanks for joining us. Man,
thank you for having me.
Man, it's so good. I'm so excited for you to share a little bit of your background and what you and your brother have been up to. But maybe if everybody wants to know, hey, were you born this way, or how did you get into the valuation and appraisal profession?
We actually got into it from college.
No way.
Yeah.
That is such a not so typical answer.
I know. That's what everyone says. Like, really? Because normally it's a family thing. We were actually at Kelly School of Business at IU.
Now everybody knows what IU means. Tell them where you mean, because there are other IUs.
Yep. Indiana University in Bloomington.
The Indiana University,
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Currently a football school somehow.
Currently a football school. For those of you that don't know, the University of Indiana actually has a football program. Thank goodness to the NIL. So it's a whole different set of data and money.
Exactly. And they had, at the time, and I think they still do, but at the time they had a real estate track for finance majors at Kelly. And we were fortunate enough because at the time the professor of the real estate was Jeffrey Fisher. And so he's just awesome. He's amazing.
That guy's amazing. I don't know how many books that guy's name's in. Holy smokes.
Yeah. I said he's the one person that can literally say he wrote the book on real estate appraisal.
That's true. So here you are, you're an undergraduate now, and are you and your brother about the same age, or are you a couple of years apart?
We're 3 minutes apart. We're twins, so.
All right, friends. And for those of you that can't see his brother because he's not feeling well today, obviously he's the less attractive brother.
Yes, he's by far.
Yeah, fraternal or identical?
Technically fraternal. I think they call it semi-identical now. Yeah, because I guess there's 25 pieces of a blood test, and they said one of ours was different.
Oh, I got it. Clearly the less attractive one, and clearly the one that we didn't want to talk to you today.
Yeah, obviously the lazy one. Yeah, no.
Sorry, Gavin.
Unfortunately, he got the flu today. But yeah, and so
convenient that he had the flu.
Exactly. Yeah, how convenient that when we have to do something.
Oh my gosh! So were you guys going through the same courses together, or did you were you taking Jeff's course and then you brought him over? Or how did that happen?
Nope, we were doing the same real estate track,
and
we didn't even know much about it, and we just asked Dr. Fisher. Said, "What do you think we would be good at?" And he said, "Just the way your analytical minds, the way you answer questions, I really think you should look into appraisal."
Wow.
And so we went out, at the time, it was way back when, so you had to go to a physical class to do the classes. So we drove on Saturdays up to the building.
Wow.
And that was that. And wrote to 200 different appraisers and got 2 responses, and one took us on.
That's something else. So you were fortunate enough to go to a university that actually had real estate courses.
Yeah.
And of all people, you get Jeff Fisher as one of your instructors, professors, if you will. And did you get to take multiple courses with him, or did you just take one kind of intro to real estate valuation? Or what was that like in an undergraduate environment? Because most I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, he did a couple of the courses. I think I want to say he did the intro and then 1 or 2 other ones. One of them was valuation of real estate. And then there were a few other courses you took because it was technically a finance major with a real estate track. You
concentration.
could do either, a concentration in real estate. They gave you two options to go the finance route or the real estate route.
Oh, wow. That is something else. So you go that route. You end up deciding that you do want to go into appraising, or did like Jeff say, guys, skip banking, don't go investment banking, don't go into finance. You should be appraisers.
We did an internship at Irwin, a place called Irwin Mortgage. I'm not sure if it's still around anymore. It probably got bought.
Okay. Yep.
So we knew about finance and didn't love the cubicle. So we had that fortunate experience. And then when he said appraisal, we're like, sure, let's give it a try. At least take the classes, see if we enjoyed it. We enjoyed the classes.
Wow.
And so we thought, let's go for this. Let's give it a try.
That is amazing. And I think I heard you say you guys reached out to 200 people.
Yeah, we wrote letters to. It was probably only like 180. I was just rounded up to 200. But we wrote.
I don't care if it was more than 18 at the point. I'm like,
we wrote to a lot of appraisers,
Wow.
and we got just a couple responses. I think a lot of them, they were both in Indiana, so it's probably more so the out-of-state people were like, "How serious is this?" Where the few in Indiana were kind enough to respond to us.
Oh my goodness, that is something else. So you got two people in Indiana that replied to you.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you all, some people may not know the geography of the state of Indiana. So you guys, were you living in Bloomington or were
Yes.
you commuting?
At the time, we were living in Bloomington.
Oh.
And then on Saturdays, we would go take the appraisal courses, like the pre-licensing coursework.
Okay.
And then the two appraisers that responded to us were both slightly north, like just north of Indianapolis.
Okay.
So yeah, we would drive up there and
Yeah.
talk to
Wow.
them.
That
We
is-
didn't like officially start our training period till we graduated.
Oh, all right. All right. Yeah. I can't remember in the last couple quarters, one gentleman about your age actually had shared how I think he had gotten certified before he even graduated. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's a whole different world. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Whew, that's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy because now it's a great time to do it because you can do it courses online. You can work with appraisers remotely.
Yeah.
I've seen some. I don't know enough about it, but I've seen information about practicum and all that. So it's a different world than when we did it. We were driving to buildings and sitting in courses.
Sitting in classes, uncomfortable desks. So here it is, like you and your brother get some response. You go work for, was it an individual or like a little family thing? Was it like a big environment? Tell us about it.
Nope, it was an individual. He had two other guys that worked with him, and then his wife did like the office management stuff. So it was a smaller fee appraisal firm.
Got it.
And John Wagner, he's such a great guy. He's truly nice guy. We didn't get to work with him super long, but he's such a good guy.
Oh, that's cool. Did he pass away or something?
He just got a little sick and then decided, you know what, I'm done with it. Like he was so experienced and he had his set group of clients and stuff that I think he just said, I'm going to take it easy, work with my few clients, and that's that. So
I totally appreciate that. It's such a common comment that we hear from so many people that they're at a stage or an age in life, and look, no need to make complexity if it's unnecessary, but no need to deal with more demands on your time if you don't have to. And it sounds like that way. So here you go. Did you even get a year together with John, or was it just
we
sort of like,
we were with him for the 2 years, the 2 year
okay,
training
2 years.
period.
And was that residential, commercial, agricultural?
Residential. Yep,
Okay.
we've pretty much always focused on residential. It's
Okay,
just
always
been
focused on-
our calling. We just love houses and residential real estate, and
Love
so never had the commercial bug that a lot of people get.
That's all right. Some people like the flu and other people don't. I don't know. That's wild. So here you are. So what was it like joining a small firm? And did you and your brother join together?
We did. Yep.
Oh, so it was a package deal.
Yep. He took us both on. Yep.
All right.
Which was very kind of him. He didn't have that. That's, I know one trainee can be tough. Two is, it was a lot of work for him. He was dedicated to it. So
I appreciate that. What was the training like back in those days?
we were pretty much thrown in. Like we went with him on his inspections.
Mhm.
We sat together and typed the reports. He'd walk us through it. Eventually, we could get to a point where we could start typing a little bit ourselves.
Yeah.
And then he would say, here's where I think you should work on this. You should work on this. And it was a kind of a true trainee experience. So we were fortunate. We were really fortunate.
Yeah, that's really great to hear. And so did you have to learn how to type too, or did you actually know that before you got there?
I knew how to type, but I didn't know how to type appraisals. So yeah, we had to do it from day one. He was like, this is the software we use. We used the software they used at the time.
Okay.
And then we figured out how to type it. He walked us through it. Yeah.
I can appreciate that. And it's funny even asking the question, like, do you know how to type? But
No.
some people in the industry, I sit more in that camp than you would. I remember coming into the profession. Fortunately, I'd been exposed to typing
Yep.
through the latter part of school, but a number of the people I worked with absolutely did not. And it was amazing. I remember one of the first people I worked with, they're like, okay, here's this little program called Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing.
Yeah.
And I'd literally sit there, look at the screen, don't look at the keyboard, and be like, they'd show the letter A on the screen, and you press it with your finger. I learned how, and I would tell you, I literally got my reports done in half the time. I'm like, holy cow, who knew that typing was such an important skill?
It is. Yeah. We were fortunate when we had a typing course in college. And
you did?
I think
you took a typing course in college?
I think it was considered like they did Excel and stuff. Like it was like all the office, but typing was a big proponent of it. And I think at the time it was like the thing to do because the future was computers. So we were fortunate on that front too.
Wow, man, that is wild. So here you guys, you're getting this opportunity. And did you all just handle more tract type homes, or did you get thrown into everything? What was that experience like learning how to use a tape measure?
Yeah, he started us on the easier ones, but I remember, God, it may have been within my first few months, I did an underground home, like one of those that's built into a hill.
Hillside, yeah.
And I was like, this is nuts. Is this what we do on a daily basis? But they're few and far between. But yeah, he threw us into everything and said, this is how you measure this. This is how you do this. And threw us to the wolves. Thank God he was there because it could have been rough. But
yeah, that is something else.
Yeah. It was exciting, though. It's fun. To start out as an appraiser, it's just exciting stuff because you just get to see all this new houses, all these new data. It's exciting.
I completely agree with you on that one in terms of if you have a sense of curiosity, appraising and dealing in valuation, especially from a field standpoint, it's quite fulfilling.
Yeah, it really is.
And the people you get to meet and the places you get to go, some of the properties you get access to that you would never be invited into otherwise.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh my goodness. So in those first couple years, what was one of those standout assignments? You're like, I can't believe I'm doing this.
We've done obviously the multi-million-dollar homes and stuff, and the famous people. That's always exciting when people say, you see the people on the news and you said, yep, I appraised their house. Those are amazing. Not fun to sketch, but fun to see.
Yeah, that's true.
Some of the underground house was fun. That was very different. Finding comps for that was fun.
Yeah, man.
And a lot of the investment work, that was what really, it was exciting to get to work with investors and get that kind of experience that way.
Tell me more about that. What do you mean?
Just when we started, because investment was always a bug we had. And we were fortunate that we found a few clients that worked with investors. So we got to be their consultants. Like we got to say, this is what it's worth now, as is. This is what we think it will be worth if you do the work you're showing us you're going to do. So you do as is and subject to appraisals. And they'd ask us for 1007s, like, what do you think it's going to lease for? Oh, wow. Things like that. So it gave us that experience that we would have not got elsewhere unless we had bought 50 or 100 houses ourselves and flipped them ourselves and ourselves. We were able to gain that experience through them as an appraiser, which ultimately helped us become investors.
Really? So was that when you were still with John, or was that when you went on to your next opportunity?
Yeah, that was later down the road. That was when we started our own appraisal shop.
Oh, I got it. So after you said you were about, I think you said maybe 2 years getting to work with John before he did his own thing. Did you go work for another firm, or did you all go out on your own at that point?
Nope, we went out on our own at that point because John, he was good about, he said, you're going to have to build up your own business. I'm happy to teach you, happy to help you. And he did help us along the way, especially early. He paid us when he didn't have to. But he let us build up clients, get to know clients. They were his clients still. Mm-hmm. Even if we brought him in, it was his business. So we said, we understand it's your business. But we got to meet a lot of people that eventually we got to work with. And so then we started our own shop.
Oh, man, that is fantastic. So you start your own shop, and did you stay in the same geographic area? Or did you guys pick up and move, or how did that go?
Yep, still in Indiana. We were a little bit south of him. We thought it wasn't perfect to stay in the exact same area. Yeah. We wanted him to have his area. So we went a little south, and we're from the south side of Indianapolis anyways. So we thought, we'll go a little south. Still the central metropolitan area, but just a little south of him.
No, I appreciate that. So you guys decided to get started on your own. Did you stay with the same type of clients, or did you diversify, or did you completely move away from what you'd been associated with before?
Yeah, some of the similar clients. He had done more government work than we had, especially starting out. We do FHA and HUD stuff now. Yeah. And then we obviously worked with some AMCs, a few of which that we still work with that we love.
Congratulations.
And then some private work, and tried to get some investment work, like investment consultancy, stuff like that.
Got it. Oh, man, that is phenomenal. So how did you mentioned you always had a bug for property and investment? How did that come together in terms of not just working with investors, but yourselves becoming investors?
It was that kind of thing. We just knew, we always thought appraisal would be a perfect avenue to gain the knowledge and, as business dry as it sounds, to have the cash flow.
Really?
Yeah, to become investors, because we always thought, investment, that's the bee's knees. That's where we want to be. But then we fell in love with appraisal, so that helped too. But yeah, that was our thing. We just said we're going to do investment, and then we got really fortunate at one point because our father he was in the mortgage industry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but he separate, like different from what we do. He didn't have anything to do with appraisals or anything.
Yeah.
And he just said, hey, here's what I know about it. He never got to invest himself. Yeah. But he had a lot of knowledge in financing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then we just one day fell into a house and said, okay, let's bite the bullet.
Oh, wow. How do you fall into a house? I've fallen in a house before.
I say fell into it, but
oh, yeah. How did that happen?
We just tell everyone we know, hey, this is what we do. If you ever have anyone that has a house or anything. And then obviously we have lists and stuff that we keep with MyBoard. As you build a network, it helps a lot. But it was a friend of a family friend who had a situation with their mother where she had to move, and they said, hey, can you come look at this? Because it was a pretty rough house. They had some work done, and we just said, okay, yep, we'll give it a try. And we were fortunate. It was at the time, it was very easy to flip at that point. So.
Really? Why was that?
Just things were selling. Everything was selling, and it just seemed like you could put it actually sold for more than, I always tell the joke, and then it ended up selling for more than I thought it would, and I'm an appraiser. I thought, I have it right. I'll have it exactly right. And they told me, okay.
Oh my gosh, that is too funny. So you put the word out, so people come back and say, hey, a relative's got a property, it's rough. We don't really want to have to go do the process of selling it to the local market or having to deal with maybe home inspection and all the lists. So you guys, you buy this thing. What was it? A little 3-bedroom, 1-bath ranch, or?
Yep, that's exactly 3-bed, 2-bath ranch. It's exactly what it was.
Oh, nice. And so what'd you buy it for? What was your plan with it? And then how did it go?
We bought it. At the time, I think it was $138. Is what we bought it for. Yeah. We ended up putting in like 32,000.
Okay. Sounds nice.
If I remember correctly. And then it sold for $228.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Man, quit your day job.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, what am I doing? So, no, but
Hey,
We were lucky with that one.
honestly, were you lucky?
I like to say that, but yeah, it was a lot of work. It 10 years later, that's what people always say. The more I prepare, the luckier I get.
I know, and I totally agree with that. But seriously, at this point, you had studied, you had an amazing instructor, professor, who accomplished individual that you got to learn under. You get to go work with someone who was involved, engaged, and thoughtful. Plus, you had an interest in real estate and investing. Plus, I thought I heard you say that you spent some time getting to work with and consult these individuals on their projects, their money, and you get to see the results. And then you finally get an at bat, as they would say
Yeah.
in baseball. Like you finally get an at bat, and no surprise, you are actually successful.
Yep.
Now,
Yep,
a lot of
surprise.
it is anyone's been around this for any amount of time will tell you, you actually make all your money you almost make all the money when you buy. Like if you
Absolutely.
buy wrong, you spend the rest of the time trying to bail your
Absolutely.
tush, bail
Yep.
your tush
You're
out
right.
of
That's
the
true.
hot seat that you put yourself in. But there was some you recognized it was a value add situation. They recognized the stress of the property, so to speak, or the deferred maintenance and all the issues, and y'all came to an acceptable agreement, and you did the work.
Yep. Yeah.
That's amazing, man.
It,
So
it
did
can
you
work out. I don't think it's anything that other people couldn't do. I think
Yeah.
anyone can do it.
Totally appreciate that. That's still inspiring. And how long were you in ownership of that property?
We had that one. That was a flip from the start. So we had that
Oh,
one for just a couple months, just maybe 4 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's really
It
impressive.
sold pretty quick.
That is
Thank you.
great. And then how did you all find the people that you worked with to get the work done for your 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch?
We have both. We have a couple friends that actually build homes,
Oh,
custom
okay.
homes.
Nice.
And then my uncle was in construction his entire life. He's retired since, but he knew there was one guy in particular that we wanted to do
Great.
some cabinet work. And he said, I
Yeah.
know a guy that does cabinets. And so we
Wow.
went with his people.
That's amazing.
And then
That is-
really through appraisal, we've met a ton of great contractors. We've met a ton of wholesalers,
Yeah.
realtors. Like through appraisal, you can actually build up an entire network.
This is a topic we have not touched on to date, but I completely agree with you because what's your role?
Yep.
You're in the market, you're interacting with people involved in the transaction, you're gathering information, you're having conversations, you're verifying activity, and no surprise, you meet all kinds of people.
Yep. Yeah. A lot of the work that we've done since has been with people we met while doing other appraisals. You know,
Really?
just, hey, can I keep your information? Can I call you about this?
Sure.
And people are great. So yeah, I tell new appraisers, keep a Rolodex, keep everyone's name. Like,
Oh my goodness. So much. 2 thumbs up on that comment. But unfortunately, Taylor, some people have no idea of the device you just mentioned.
that's a good point. Yeah, say for all those under the age of 40, a Rolodex was a thing we used to use. Put it in your phone, put it in your iPhone, in your contacts list.
In your contact manager. and tag it in some way so you can find it again when
Yeah,
you
exactly. Yeah.
6 months or 6 years later, something like that. But that's amazing. So you get to do this first house. You guys are doing appraisal and you got a little mix of business. You put the word out. And then did you do another investment that year, or was that like the one for the year?
That was the one for that year because we had just gotten into it. And then we
Yeah.
just started growing a little bit more, did a condo,
Okay.
and then just kept going from there.
So when you do a condo, for those people, some people live in areas where there's lots of condos. Other people live where they don't even know what a condo is because everything is detached, single family. Literally ranches, not the ranch style home, but like ranches because everything's
Yep.
so far apart. But so what does it mean to do a condo?
It was just a property. There's a little golf course community,
Okay.
and they had these attached condominium units,
Yeah.
and all of them had been built with a loft.
Oh,
And so you could easily convert it into another bedroom.
yeah.
And that was the easy way to add value to those. And same thing, it was actually one that was listed. And
Okay.
we called him and said, because it was a little dated.
Yep.
And so we just said, hey, here's a price that we're interested in. And it ended up working out. And
That's great.
buying it, putting some work into it, mostly cosmetic for that one.
Okay.
And then actually leased that one for a year
Oh, all
and
right.
then sold it.
Oh, nice. Nice. So you come across that now. Some people are big fans of buying and owning condos. Other people avoid them like an illness. Well, how was your experience with it?
For that one, it was good. The particular area, though, it's a good area for that because, like I said, it's a little golf course thing.
Yeah.
The units are moderately sized and priced, so they lease well and stuff. But yeah, I can understand some people's concern with condos.
Yeah.
Resale can sometimes be difficult with those.
Yeah. And sometimes there's the carrying costs.
Yep.
You have to deal with an association where you don't have as much control over everything that's going on that you'd hope for.
Yep. And this one was a smaller type deal where it wasn't thousands of units where like you said, there's a HOA that is very, so yeah, we were fortunate on that front.
That is wonderful to hear. I've been on the other side of that one.
I can imagine that is not fun.
It sucks. Let me just leave it at that. I've been on what do you mean I can't do this? I own this place.
It's
They're
my
like,
plate. What do you mean I
"Yes,
can't? Yeah.
yes, but." I'm like, what do
Yeah.
you mean yes, but? I'm like, no. There's no yes, but. So yeah, totally the case. That's great to hear. So you guys actually rented it out, and then why did you decide to sell?
At that time, it was one of those, we had a business partner in that
Oh.
one, and he wanted to get into another property.
Okay.
So if it was up to me at that point, I would have just kept it. Because I do think buy and hold is probably, at least for appraisers and stuff, for people that don't necessarily have a set retirement plan. I know most of them are pretty financially savvy,
Yeah.
but for us, we always thought real estate would be our kind of retirement plan. I love the idea of buy and hold. I love the idea of buy and hold.
2 thumbs up, man. I'm like, I remember I don't remember the dude's name. He had a book, or he self-published a book back in the day when no one knew what self-publishing was. And I
Yep.
think it was called Pillow Money, Pillow Profits is what he
Oh,
called it.
okay.
And the whole idea that you own the property all month long, and
Yep.
the tenant is technically paying you a little rent each day. They pay you one time, but they pay you
Yeah,
a little
but
rent each day.
technically, yeah.
And the pillows get a little fluffier as the month goes on, and you get to the end of the month, and you got to take some of the fluff out and give a little to the bank, and maybe you got to pay a little taxes. Maybe you have to pay some utilities or something, maybe some
Yep.
insurance. But there's a little more left at the end of the month in the pillow than where you started. That pillow just gets a little fluffier and fluffier along the way.
Yep.
I was like, this is a cool concept.
80% of all businesses fail within 5 years, according to the US Census Bureau. With so many roles and responsibilities that must be managed and have nothing to do with appraisal reports, is it any surprise that it's hard to keep up, much less having a sense of peace, stability, and profitability that comes from growing your business? Given all of this, you might already be thinking about exiting your business one day. Don't miss the limited opportunity to work with Michael, a real estate expert and professional coach. He has worked with more than 300 owners and entrepreneurs to find their highest and best use by solving problems that reach their most important goals. Compress decades of learning into days by working with Michael. Michael is famous in real estate and business coaching. With his help, you can accelerate your growth, increase your quality of life, and earn more money, all while ultimately doing less. Michael helps you not just grow your business, but also find new purpose in it and in your life. If you're ready to take control instead of being controlled, contact him on LinkedIn or email him at michaelh@paru.com.
Yeah. It's if you know how to do it and you can the tax advantages and all that, it's a great idea.
Yeah, that is amazing kind of stuff. So you went from a condo. What came next?
Just a couple more houses, just flips.
More houses?
Yep,
Okay.
flips. Just because we had business. Like I said, we had business partners.
Okay. When you say business partners, does that mean you have like bank of mom and dad, or you like maxed out credit cards, or you went to like Vito on the corner and handed a briefcase over to you? What are we talking about?
We had actually written up a whole like a business plan and investment plan and sent it out to our entire network and said, we're looking for funding.
Yeah.
It would be more, we did let them know it would be more hands off. They would be the funding and we would be doing the work. And just had a couple people say, yeah, let's try this. And so they would just, every time we sold a house, they'd reinvest and we'd do it again. So.
I love that, man. That is so cool. And what was the offer back then? Maybe it's different now if you still have partners, but what were your offers back then to people to get involved with you?
The first couple, I think we offered like 13% on their money. It was a pretty good return compared to what they were getting elsewhere.
Absolutely.
And we would just flip properties, and then we would say, if we can do 2 in a year, then we'll do that. We'll put it right back in, and your same money, and then it'll be even more. And that was how we did it from then. And then some of them, they just like the idea of we get X% of whatever the profit is. You get Y%, and it depends on each investor what they prefer. Some say I want to know exactly what I'm getting up front, and some say I want to be my percentage to be this.
Yeah. Well, that totally makes sense. Wow, that's cool. So you do a couple more houses. How did you come across those investment opportunities?
Some on the BLC, or in Indiana, it's called the BLC, the Broker Listing Cooperative. That's just the MLS.
MLS. Okay. Got it.
And then some through wholesalers that we had met with.
Oh, okay. And how did you meet wholesalers? Because here's the thing. I know how I've met them, but how did you meet them? Because a lot of people, when they maybe watch a course or see a little YouTube thing, and they're like, I don't even know any wholesalers. But how did you guys meet them?
We met through some of the investment work we did, and then through a friend, Greg, that we know. He had done maybe one deal before, but he's the builder, and he had worked with a guy that did wholesaling, and he said, I can hook you up with this guy. So he sent us one. And then online, there's places online. A lady we met in Allison was through New Western that we met online.
Okay.
So just called people, said, do you know wholesale? Called realtors and said, do you guys work with wholesalers? Do you do properties off book?
Okay.
Just contacted everyone we could.
Love that. That is absolutely fantastic. So you come across, and how did that, you mentioned a couple more houses. Tell us about how that investment went.
So far, so good. All of them have been profitable. We had one that was less profitable than we would have liked, but that happens. We like to tell people hopefully if you do it right, it's difficult to lose money unless there's some crazy market shift. But for the most part, all of them have made money. We don't do anything too crazy. They're all flips. With other people's money, they're all flips.
Yes.
And it's mostly simple ranches or homes. We don't really, a lot of them are homes built after 1980. So it's nothing, we don't get into the 115-year-old houses where you open up the wall and go, oh my God. Yeah.
Love that. Man, good for you guys. And so did you just stay in the flip zone, or did you start to move beyond that?
Yeah. With other people's money, we stayed in the flip zone just because we knew that we'd get them the profit that we promised. And then with our money, we started doing buy and hold, and now 1031s and things like that.
Got it. So talk to us about making the shift. How did it go? What was it like? What worked and what challenges did you experience?
It was daunting up front because you're an appraiser. I was like, I wanted to know every detail.
Oh, of course.
If I rented for this, like how do the taxes work on this? And so I did a lot. I think for a while it was one of those, what do they call that? Analysis paralysis, where I was just kind of
like rampant in the industry. Like the number of people that I meet over the decades, and I'm like, are you the wealthiest person that you know? And they're like, no, I'm like one of the poorest. I'm like, you have all the information and all the knowledge and all the ability to help other people make great choices. They're like, but I can't seem to pull the trigger for myself. And I'm like, I'm so sad.
Yeah, that's the thing. And you'll see, and we did the same thing. Don't blame anybody. You're helping all these investors make all this money. You're like, why am I not doing this? But,
oh my gosh.
So I did that. And then we just said, you know what, let's buy one, rent it. We did get a property manager, which I know that some people like to manage their first, but I was not sure that I would be good at that.
Got it. Got it. How did you, I think we know the answer, but we'll ask again. How did you come to know of having property managers? And then how did you come to find the one that you chose to work with?
That was purely online. I just called a bunch of them and said, hey, yeah, I just called and I asked some of the investors we knew, said, do you have property managers? If so, was there any that you prefer, that you like, that you work with? And then just interviewed a couple of them and went with the one we felt was the best fit.
Oh, wow. That's great to hear. In one sense, for many people, it's a no-brainer. Of course, you found it online. But for others, like you mentioned, having had the opportunity to take class with Professor Jeffrey Fisher, that is a foreign concept because there was no online back in the day.
Yeah,
And it
yeah, you
literally
really could.
was the good old book of names and numbers called the phone book, or it was literally phone a friend.
Yeah, yeah, you'd have to call. Yeah, you'd call people that knew him, call realtors, call anybody, and just say, "Hey, do you know of any of these people?" It's unheard of now. Now you just go into Google.
Yeah, just look it up and reach out to people. That's something else. So when did you guys start taking the buy and hold approach? How many months or decades ago?
Oh no, very recently for the buy and hold for us.
Really?
Yeah, just a couple years. Basically, part of it was that our family had a house in Florida, and when my grandparents passed, it was like, okay, what are we doing with this thing? We're like, this is a good time to try this out, and so that worked out. And then another one that we had with where we were able to buy it and thought, okay, let's sit on this thing. So that's just been recent. Mostly flips has been our main investment.
And then a little bit more advanced conversation we've had than some of our other appraiser peers. You've done some amount of flips. Excellent. And that creates income. Last time I checked, we have a friend called Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam wants a piece of the action.
Yep.
How do you all handle Uncle Sam?
With flips, you don't really have much of a choice. You kind of have to treat it like income.
Yeah. Totally.
And when you get into rentals, it's a very different thing, especially if you can, which I'm not giving tax advice, but if
all
you,
right. Look, we play tax professionals in
exactly.
the car. Talk to ourselves.
If you qualify as a real estate professional, there is ways to write off income through rentals. And then obviously depreciation, take depreciation expense and mortgage expenses. So with buy and holds, you can actually get to a point where you're even writing off losses from your other income. But for flips, you pretty much just kind of have to pay the gains tax, and that's that. At least unless you 1031, but that's a whole other thing, and that has to do with rentals. So
yeah, I get that. That's phenomenal. So I've something I did learn about, and it made a world of difference for me. Most people don't know about what you're speaking to in terms of the income tax filing, call it category or election. Say a little more about that, because it is truly, in a good way, like a wild card. And once you play the wild card, suddenly everything else just gets positively amplified.
yeah. For taxes, if you qualify as a real estate professional, and for appraisers, you do want to talk to a tax expert because some appraisal work doesn't qualify.
No.
So once you've made that qualification through property management, brokerage, things like that, some of appraisal work can, then you technically can take losses from real estate against your actual income, even income you make from other sources. And so that's when it gets really crazy. And then just the depreciation expense on investment real estate is it's a write-off because it makes sense. As appraisers know, properties depreciate. We calculate depreciation all the time.
Yep.
But for cash flow purposes, it's a paper write-off.
Yeah. Referred to as a non-cash expense. And as people in the profession, even if you're primarily residential, at some point you may have done an income property, and they show you the income. They say, here's some of my expenses. And one of which, for the tax returns, you regularly look at those or have had to see them before, or someone gave that to you and they have that line item called depreciation. Depreciation is not one, obviously, that we take into account when developing the income approach
Sure.
on properties. But nonetheless, for the IRS, it's a huge benefit because they say, look, everything here, including you, but they don't count you, everything here is slowly deteriorating, and some things deteriorate faster than others.
Yep.
And therefore, if they deteriorate, there have been tons of studies. There's a lot of research. There's Internal Revenue Code on this whole topic, the IRC, and it's all about how long does carpet typically last? How long do window shades typically last? How long do, ceiling tiles last? How long do the ballasts in the electric, like all that? And they have certain lifespans. And the idea specifically is you can pay a professional, and some appraisers do this work, which is called cost segregation studies. It's essentially the cost approach on the full breakdown method. And they break it into its useful life. And then they say, well, this is going to die in 3 years or technically wear out. And therefore, you can depreciate that over 3 years. So suddenly, as you touched on, it's an amazing benefit for someone who's not just doing appraisal, but also investing, because there are paper losses, and paper losses cover actual profits and gains, AKA you're not paying taxes legally because the government provides you that incentive. And it sounds like you have moved into that category and life has gotten a lot better.
Yeah. And for residential, I know if you don't want to do the cost segregation, although if you can, you should, they just do the straight 27.5 years for the whole thing.
Absolutely.
For your basis. But yeah, we have a guy from California that we do all their consultancy work for, and he does cost segregation on every single property.
Oh, absolutely. One of our team members does cost segregation because our clients kept asking for it. We're finally stopped saying no.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, as long as they're not living in the property, whatever kind of property it is, it's the very first, it's like as soon as the property transaction closes, the next thing that goes on is the cost segregation study, unless they're also doing value add. And then they do it right after the value add is done.
Right. Yeah. Once you get the basis.
Yeah. And then suddenly that 27.5 or 39-year schedule, a huge chunk of that gets accounted for in the first couple of years. And with the most recent tax law change, there's 100% deductibility in year one.
Yeah. See, that's incredible.
It's, oh my gosh, like we're going to see such a boom in investment by informed investors, and the uninformed people are just going to be like, I don't understand why people are paying those prices.
Yep. Yeah. I think because even in our appraisal business, we've seen such an increase in investment activity compared to even just in just the regular appraisal. You see some LLC owns it, and there's just an increased investment activity, which makes sense. Like,
totally does. You mentioned that in addition to having the ability to file as a real estate professional based on your annual 1040, your income tax returns, that you guys have started to move into 1031s. How's that showing up? How are you using that? How are you benefiting from another government, in this case, tax code provision that says that you don't have to pay taxes on the gain from the sale of a property?
Yeah,
if you comply with very stringent guidelines.
Exactly. Yeah. We literally just started getting into the 1031, very recently. And yeah, you're right. It's very strict. So same thing. Get a professional that knows what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
There's plenty to specialize in. Yeah, there's plenty to specialize in.
But anyway, so have you guys already done a 1031?
No, we're currently looking at doing one right now. We're actually finding the properties for it.
Okay.
Because you have to find.
You want to sell?
Yeah.
You're trying to find your replacement property? Is how it goes?
Yeah. You have to find at least one, but it can be more that are the total or more.
Yeah, totally.
You can't do less, but.
Yep.
And then you 1031 it, and then you don't pay on the sale of the house. It goes to the next one. You're just pushing it down the road.
Yeah. You're just rolling it forward, so to speak.
And then eventually what people tend to do is having a trust, and then if they pass, the step up in basis happens, and then you technically never pay taxes, but...
Oh, you actually legally never pay taxes. And then those that receive the property can turn around and do a cost segregation study on what they just received.
Yes, on their basis.
People didn't even know that. That was just like, that blew people's mind. Like when we share that knowledge to our clients, they're like, what?
When they told me, the tax people told me, I was like, wait, you can do that? Like, okay.
We do a lot of probate and estate work, and we work with a lot of investors and a lot of less sophisticated people. We always try to be helpful and share our own experience.
Well,
And
sure.
they're like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "Talk to a professional, of course."
Yeah.
But I can have firsthand experience that I can share from. That's great for you guys. How and typically there needs to be enough of a profit, so to speak, to
Yes.
make it worthwhile to do a 1031. What are you all looking to sell? And then what are you all looking to get into so people can get a sense of the smaller scope that you're at right now?
Yeah. For us, it's just literally just one property going into two other properties.
Yeah.
A lot of people, what they end up doing, because like you said, it has to be a certain level of profit and you get to a certain level. A lot of them move from residential into like apartment buildings,
Oh,
which is
okay.
probably going to be a long-term goal. But yeah, that's as long as it's a like kind property
Mhm.
and more is a higher value, you can do it. So in our case, it's just there was enough there that it's worth it to just, and we don't want to sell. We want to get into more and more cash flow properties.
Yeah, wow, that's something else. When do you have between you and your unattractive brother, the lesser of the two of you, of course,
Right.
when you guys
lesser
talk about
Kurd.
this, the lesser Kurd. Now that's hilarious. Like you guys have a podcast for that. When you look out, this is 2026 as we're having this conversation. Is it 2028? Is it 2030? Is it 2032? Like how far out is it before your passive income exceeds your active income from appraising?
It's
Or
within the
maybe you're there already, which is like so inspiring, and I'm gonna like just jump up and down and celebrate.
no, not there yet. Right now, according to the spreadsheets, which you know how those go, within 8 years.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Holy
where it
smokes.
actually meets and exceeds what our expenses are. Like where we could that day just go, okay,
Yeah.
taking a week off.
Oh my goodness. I would surely hope that the appraisal organizations out there would just put you on the cover of their landing page as the poster child for valuation and appraisal. Because look, who doesn't want to be able to benefit from all the knowledge, the experience, the education, and the application that you have, and then create your own freedom? I'm like, dude, this is so amazing, Taylor. I'm so excited for you and for people like you that are in and around this profession.
Any appraiser could do it. I think appraisers are so knowledgeable, they could do it.
Oh, so cool, man. I'm so pumped. I feel like I should just go buy something that I can depreciate and
Exactly. We can cost
Important
segregate and
yeah, value add. I'm a huge value add fan. Started doing that decades ago. But
Yeah.
man, I'm so
yeah,
excited.
you
So
have more. I mean,
guys-
you have more experience in that even than we do. I'm sure. You've done all
I-
kinds of value add work.
I do. But it's not about me, it's about you. So
Oh.
let's keep the focus where it's at. So I've heard you mention some 1031s, the single family, and you're thinking about the future for apartment buildings.
Yeah. It's still it would still be what we would call residential, like where people live.
Yeah, habitational. Do you have a sense? Do you want to own like 500 unit properties? Or you're thinking like 12 unit or campus style? You're going to get downtown Indy and high rise? What are you thinking?
Our longest long-term goal was to own like a little there was actually an actual place that we wanted to buy, but like one where it's a community type atmosphere, a couple hundred units.
Yeah.
It
Love
is the long-term goal, but obviously you'd start with a few units here or there, then probably get into some duplexes and then move into apartments. You kind of have to build from the ground unless you're born with a family trust. Then go for the gusto.
I definitely agree with you and in the line of thinking, because that was where I started from back in the day. And through the power of things like books and peers and the internet, you get an opportunity to get access to other people. And I've been amazed at how much that perspective that you shared, which was one that I had, which was truly a limiting belief, because I was like, I can't go buy one of those. I think I was in maybe 10 years before I bought my first bigger building. I bought a series of them. But had I known what I known, I probably could have done it in 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is it's all about the relationships. It's about, you're not going to buy it yourself because you don't have the rich uncle or the bank of mom and dads per se, or it's like some long lost relative dies and like bequeaths you tons of money. But being able to partner with other people, you get access. Maybe it's 10 or 20% of a 20-unit building.
Yep. Yeah, that's the way to do it. You start, you have your knowledge you can sell first. If you don't have anything, and your time, sell your time and your knowledge. Then once you have some equity, you can also put your money into it until you build it to where you own it all.
Man, that is phenomenal. Wow. Given everything you've seen and everything you've learned and everything you've experienced, what are you looking forward to over the next 3 to 5 years?
I think that for the appraisal industry, it's just going to be a really interesting time. The 3.6 is coming, and we'll see where lending clients go. And then for investment, my goal is to just get more property, get more buy and hold property, and just really start to feel like have a big enough portfolio to say we're moving into that as our end goal.
Totally get that. Totally get that. I'm just pulling up my phone because there's a couple guys, 2 guys. There's a lot of people that I actually really enjoy, but 2 guys in particular. And one, his name is Neil Bawa, B-A-W-A. And then Neil has a great story. He'll tell it. You'll listen to it. He also has a great program that he created that I think all appraisers should take. It's free, which is totally cool too. It's called, totally forgot. Doesn't matter. But Neil Bawa was one of these technology guys out on the West Coast, and the company was expanding and they were going to build their own campus. So his boss tagged him and had him be a part of the construction team that built the campus. And he learned real estate investing literally using the company's money, and then moved out of that, got into some residential investments. And he is a data first guy. If I could choose a person in the world right now that I at least knew of that I think would be an amazing appraiser and valuer, it's Neil Bawa. I think it's Nealbawa. And Location Magic is this program. Thank you. That's free. And it's a phenomenal program. His whole thing is, if you understand the data, which we call it market analysis, if you really do the right market analysis and you buy in growth-oriented markets with the right characteristics, you almost can't help not be successful. Like you could screw it up, but it's really hard. So I love his content. It's fantastic. These days, he primarily is a syndicator and does a lot of new construction and value add, but he's one of the guys. And the other is a peer of mine from YPO. And where's Kenny's thing? Kenny, come back. Can't find Ken. Sorry, Ken. No shout out for you today. Nope. Try again. Oh my gosh, totally missing it.
Oh, is it Ken? Is it the guy that does the data analysis and all that?
Ken. Oh my gosh, he's gonna laugh at me for totally screwing up. I do that. I'm like good with faces and nuts.
Because there's a guy on LinkedIn who I read all of his stuff, and his name's Ken, and I'm always like, he seems to know what he's talking about.
He was an early, I would say, he was fortunate early on to connect with Robert Kiyosaki, a rich guy. And
I think I know who you're talking.
And Ken McElroy. I'm like, shame on me. I'm like, I can see it. Couldn't so it's MCEELROY. But love Kenny. He has like thousands and thousands of units these days. But he literally started out small time like everybody else. And he does a great job of creating content and perspective. He has like a bit of a podcast now. But I love guys like that sharing obviously, if you're in the Bigger Pockets world, if you don't know Bigger Pockets, go spend time on Bigger Pockets. Love Brandon's stuff's great too. There's a lot of wonderful people out there, but I love the people who just like share information for your benefit, and they don't sell you anything.
Ken, I've seen a lot of his videos, and he does a lot about the market, like the coming market stuff on YouTube. Which, and great, like you said, free of charge. He doesn't ask anything in return. So
no, he just shares the information, and he knows that some small percentage of people that watch his content have a couple $100,000 or a couple $1 million that want to invest in the next 3 or 4, 700 unit project that he's going to buy or build.
Yep.
So it's totally a great way. But the point in sharing all that is these are people that are using the exact same skills that people like you and your brother are using to invest. It not only generates cash flow, but it also builds wealth, generational wealth even.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
Absolutely.
So inspiring.
It's the route to go if you can. At least in my opinion.
I'm with you. I'm a huge fan. Huge fan. Friends, I am so glad that you joined us. As I told you, it would be informative, it would be engaging, and it would be fun. And that's why only Taylor showed up today and not Gavin.
That's right. Yeah, it would have been a lot less fun.
Yeah, a lot less fun. I've been like, oh.
He's looking at me right now with a stink eye.
We love you, Gavin. Hope you feel better. And, until the next time we get a chance to connect for our bonus session, I just want to say, Taylor, thanks again for sharing your not only industry experience, but also your personal experience that you and your brother have pursued and how just incrementally taking steps, you continue to build with what you know, and you're creating a future that wasn't otherwise going to happen.
Yep. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And thank you for doing this podcast. It truly is an amazing thing. So
I appreciate it. It's wonderful to let people share their stories because we can all learn from each other more than just talking to ourselves in the car.
Yep.
Excellent. Friends, smash that subscribe button and like this heavily and spread the wealth, because I sincerely desire that you too have the success that Gavin and Taylor are pursuing by just using what you know. And I believe it's possible. And reach out to them directly. Don't take my word for it. Talk to them, or you can reach out to me too. But at that, until the next time, friends, let's have a fantastic 2026. Again, Taylor, thank you so much, buddy.
All right, thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Paralysis, Appraisers on Purpose. We hope you enjoyed learning from the amazing professional paths and achievements of our beloved guests. Before we go, please subscribe on your listening channel, Spotify, LinkedIn, YouTube, and other podcast channels to hear more from appraisers and valuers regarding their life and their work. After you drop a comment below, who is one friend and peer you can generously share this episode with? If you have any suggestions or questions for future episodes, we'd love to hear from you. Just send us a message on LinkedIn and we'll be sure to get back to you. Thanks again for listening, and until we're together again for the next session of Paralysis, Appraisers on Purpose, create the change that you seek.